Hi everyone, it's Sherry from Turquoise Dreaming. How you doing tonight? Welcome to my channel. This is a little journal I wanted to share before it goes out into the mail. It was a custom order per se for one of my little envelope Anne of Green Gables journals. I had done a video on one that I had in my shop and it had sold, and so someone asked me about it, and so I had intended to make more. I just never got around to it. So I went ahead and made this one for someone, and it is a little different than the last, or actually, you know, kind of very different than the last one. So that's why I wanted to go ahead and share this one. It came out really cute, and so I'll show you the envelopes in a second, but the envelopes are vintage looking, so, and kind of don't have a lot of color or any color really, so except for the postage stamps. So I wanted a kind of some color in the closure. So I just is some old vintage fabric here that I had, and I just had a strip in my fabric drawer, so I decided to use that as the closure, and I think it looks really nice with the envelope, and the colors go well with the vintage looking envelope. So we'll just untie it and get started. But I have the story of how I came about using the addresses for Anne Cuthbert and Gilbert Blythe, because I was watching Anne with an E one day and trying to figure out an address to put on here, and it flashed up on the screen, and I paused because I was watching it, excuse me, on Netflix. So I was able to pause it and write down the address. So what I did to make this was I had these size envelopes, and I distressed them, and then I wrote the addresses on here and put some postage on and postmark. And so like this front cover envelope is from Gilbert to Anne, and then the back envelope is from Anne to Gilbert, because they wrote letters back and forth to each other. So I thought that was a really cool way to do the envelopes on these covers, and they're both made the same way, distressed, and you know, postage stamps and postmarks. So we'll just get started with the flip through. Let me turn it so you can see it right side up on the camera. But as we open up, there is a pocket. I left the flap open here, so there's a pocket right here. There's actually two spots, but I didn't put anything in the second spot here. I just put some goodies in the envelope. So what I've got in here is just, let's see, I've got a cutoff from a piece of map and 2 index cards with tabs. I just want, I usually make my journals so that people can have things to, you know, write on and decorate their journals with. So I tried to include some of those besides the things that are already done. Of course, while I'm on camera, I can't get this back in here, so I will do that later. But then I have a library pocket here made from a book page with a little label on it that's been distressed. This is all sewn together on the envelope, and you know, the whole cover is sewn together with brown thread. So we have a little bit of outlining here with the thread, and then just a tiny button card I have in that front pocket, and those are vintage buttons on there, and a tag. And this is made from a card that I had received, and it was so pretty I just made a tag out of it, out of some of it. So this is some scrapbook paper, and I sewed a little side pocket here, and on the inside I used a lot of green thread. So this is just a journaling card I made out of some double-sided scrapbook paper or cardstock. And this is a little envelope that I had made out of just some lined paper, probably was a scrap. I've got a dragonfly on here, and on the back I have a little rubber stamp that says "just because," and some more dragonflies. And then inside I have a little tag for doing whatever anybody would want to do with that. And that's just tucked right in here. And then a book page and some magazine pages here with a pocket, and this is a little notebook, just had some lined paper, so I have several lined pages here, and trimmed it on the top here with staples. It's just stapled on with some scrapbook paper, a strip of that, and it's on both sides, so it's folded over and stapled together. So that came out really cute and very, very handy for writing down lots of notes. I have a little mini playing card I put right here as a side tuck spot with some note paper. And on the top I stamped it just because. And I like this because I think it was like from a planner or something. Had lines and it had these dots down the side. So I thought I like that. And then here's one of my little winged paper dolls that I put in here to have fun with. And this was a piece of calendar that I had, and it's 2019, and it was for January, February, and March. So since they're over, I was able to take this off the calendar. And what I did was stitch around the sides and the bottom, across the bottom, and I left the top open. So in the top, I put a piece of ephemera, and this is a double pocket with a little tab on top so you can pull it out of the pocket, and it's got some sequins and a pretty little piece of paper that I cut out from a magazine with flowers on it there. So that came out really cute. I've got washi down the middle. I think that was to seal the opening so that the sequins don't come out, hopefully. If they come out, they'll just go to the bottom pocket probably. So that just slips in there. And then some more book page. The original intent of these little journals that I was making when I made these was to use up a lot of my book pages. So it's about, I think I have about 10 book pages in here, and then the rest is other papers. But so and they're vintage book pages. This is another book page from a Reader's Digest, but this one had a picture on it. And then some scrapbook paper just with a fold out. And here's another book page, and that one has a picture on it also. This is some more of that card that I had made a tag out of. I sewed it around and just sewed, it was white on the back, so I sewed some pretty scrapbook paper on the back. It's got zigzag stitching around and some pretty trim right here on the edge. But I just thought that card was so pretty. Hopefully it's coming through and you can see how pretty the colors are. And some more book page, and then this is just yellow, plain yellow paper. I've got some tracing paper here. This is just plain book page. This is a piece of map that I had in my stash or my scrap box, and I thought I'd put it in here just for some randomness. And another book page. And then here is pink lined paper. I kind of just I wanted to make this kind of random and eclectic, so I think I like that look. So this came out really cool. Book page. This is a bridge score paper, and I've got a little, let me take all this stuff out so you can see a little fold up, flip up here. It's got a little piece of scrap fabric on it with a little tiny button right here, a little green button. Don't know if you could see that. Let me hold it up a little bit. And you can see, yep. And so that's sewn on. That's a piece of map paper right there. And then I've got a tag, pretty little tag that can be journaled on the back. And then 3 little tiny tags of plain green cardstock. And this is more like a journaling card, but a tiny one made out of scrapbook paper. And this is another tiny little tag. So I had a tiny little pocket, and I wanted to put tiny little tags in there. So you can see the score pad there. Some more book page. This is a piece of coloring book. We're at the middle, and this was a little coloring book, like not one of the big ones, but I found this little kind of hand size coloring book at a thrift store, and it had color on it already which it came that way. It wasn't colored on. It just came with some color on it. And I guess you're supposed to color in the rest. But it was so pretty, and I couldn't believe somebody gave it away, but they did. So this is what it looks like here. I put 2 pages together because these two came out separate, and I wanted this for the middle. So I had to put it back together. And actually recently I got some, well, what I had seen was paper tape. Someone, I don't know who it was, but someone, let me see, who was that? I can't think of who it was right now. But someone, oh, you know what it was? I think it was Creative Cafe Girl. I think she had used some paper tape on her journals, and I thought it looked really nice. And I looked on Amazon, and the Amazon paper tape was expensive. I was like, no, I'm not paying that much for paper tape. You know, washi tape is cheaper than that. So what I did was, what I noticed when I went, this is just a little tip if you want to use this. I was at Dollar Tree and saw in the, I guess it's in the medical section or the health care, it was tape that you use, I guess you use it over bandages or whatever. When you put gauze on a cut or something, you wrap it, you can wrap it with this tape. So it's some kind of like medical or adhesive tape that's in the healthcare section there with the bandages and stuff. But it was called, right on the label, it said something like paper tape. And I was like, wow, I wonder if that is the same as what she was using. So I thought, for $1, there was 2 different sizes. So I went ahead and got both sizes, and I hadn't used it before. And then when I was putting these 2 pages together, I was like, I'm going to try that tape and see if that works. And so I put some on both sides to make sure it was taped together well, and it stuck on there really well. You can see it's not coming up or anything. And I really liked it because you can see through it. It was like, it's like a light white, I would say. When you peel it off, it doesn't really look see-through, but when I put it on here, it's became see-through. And it's the same here. You really don't even know it's there, but it is there holding these pages together. And the color from the pages just shone right through there. So just a little tip I wanted to pass on there as we're going through this. Oh, and there's some little tiny matching buttons here. One's a little bit lighter and one's a little bit darker to match these 2 pages. And there's those tiny buttons are so cute. So I have some tiny buttons that I have in my shop that I sell, none that color in my shop, but yeah, I have some in there that are, those are actually not easy to get a hold of either. I was surprised because I had some that I had gotten in on a clearance section. Store was clearing them out, and I didn't know they were, you know, hard to get a hold of. I think I did buy all that they had. They didn't have that many, but I was surprised when I would look to maybe get more. And this is Matte Page, and they're not cheap. You would think little tiny buttons would be cheap, but they weren't. So anyway, I've got a few in my shop, and they are cheap. Here is some more tracing paper. So we're at the back half now. And book page from the Reader's Digest. These are Reader's Digest pages. Some more of that card with the scrap paper on the back, or the scrapbook paper. Fold out there, scrapbook paper, book page. And then, yeah, some more book page. This is that calendar too. Now on this side of it, I didn't want to cut it off, so I just made a fold over. And then in this pocket, I have a little tag, and this one you pull out with the string. So this is just a little collage bookmark, or it's collage on both sides, and it's flat, so it can go into that pocket really easily, but it's got book page on it, and it's on cardstock, and it's just collaged with pretty rubber stamps and other little things there to make a tag or bookmark, whatever you want to use it for. And that's in that pocket, and it just, the string is right here, so it's easy to pull out, and it's got a pretty pink string on it. So really cute. here we've got a pocket, and this I made this pocket out of a Monopoly card, one of the chance cards. It's a vintage one. And then here I just have a little piece I had in my stash to use as a journaling card. And then this is just a little tiny library card that I made as ephemera, so it came out really cute and vintage. I distressed it so it's all vintagey looking. Okay, and here's a pocket here. These pockets I folded over so they're nice and thick and nothing will, you know, you can put things in and out and it's nice and sturdy. This is a little booklet. I had shown these before, but I had one in my stash. So I put it in this journal as ephemera, and it's the one made out of a time card with some napkin on here, which I like because you can see through it, some lace, and the word inspire right there. And then these pages are sewn in, and there's several different types of little scrap pages in here. I just love making those, so I put those in my journals as ephemera. A book page, another pocket here, and just another piece of double-sided scrapbook paper as a journaling card, and a little pocket made out of that she can use however she wishes, and it's made out of ledger paper, and that goes in there if I can get it back in there. And so we're at the back where we've got another little flap here with some goodies. And let me see if I can get them out. So in here I just have a file folder. I like to make these too. And this is just a little piece of like random ephemera I had in my stash, and so I stuck that in there. It's just for a fun little piece. And then another index card with lines. This one has lines on the front and back, and a tab. I like those too, lots of writing room. So that's it for this journal. It won't be going up on my, I won't be uploading it until after she gets this. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. I enjoy making it, and it's just so cute. You can see the size of it. It's about, I would say, 4 by 5, something like that. Yeah, I think it's about 4 by 5. So cute little journal, and that's about it for tonight. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.